G'day, Keithy here, thanks for joining me. It's been a very long time, guys. It's been nearly 3 months actually since I've chucked a video up, and it's probably closer to 3 months since I recorded that video. There's been a lot going on, guys, and I really apologise for the time that it's taken. You might notice a few changes to my body as well. There's a lot going on. I'm not going to go and get into all this medical stuff at the moment with you guys because you don't really need to know too much about my medical stuff, but there is stuff going on at the moment which probably will explain why you haven't seen much of me lately. I thought at the moment I can do some things, little things here and there, and I want to get back out there and show you when I can do certain things. So grab a seat, grab a cuppa, whatever you want to have to eat or drink, guys. And I'll try and keep the video short, but yeah, just fill you in with what's going on with this Range Rover at the moment. This is one of the jobs that I've been sort of just tinkering around with lately to try and keep me busy in my spare time. Go without checking this out.
Tearing up tyres now.
So I guess I'll start with the easy stuff, have a little bit of an explanation about why the bonnet's up here and what's going on up the top here. And then I'll take you in and show you a little bit more about this stuff. There's been a little bit going on. And it's taken me a bit to get it all sorted, obviously because I haven't had the time to be able to do it. So what we're here to talk about is the LPG system on this Range Rover. It's one of the things that's been bugging me lately. And the reason I should probably explain that to start off with is that the ability to get LPG for your car in Townsville where I live is non-existent now. That's it. There's no more. They don't sell it. It's game over for LPG. So in my absolute wisdom, and if you are on the forums, if you are on the Facebook page, I should say, for the P38 Range Rover, you probably noticed that I put up a little help video, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe almost a month ago. Because in my infinite wisdom, I decided that I would take all the LPG stuff out myself and try and run this thing just on petrol, get rid of all the gas stuff because gas isn't necessary anymore. I can't run it. What's the point in having the system? And in doing that, I learned the hard way that was probably not the best idea I ever had. And the only reason that I had problems when I was doing it, the main reason was because there's a wiring harness for the gas system that is actually connected to the petrol system. So by playing around with one, it affected the other, and essentially what had happened is I'd stopped the vehicle from being able to fire over. Luckily, I didn't go Titanic and just go crazy, just cutting and doing all that kind of. I cut it only simultaneously is the word that I'm looking for. Cut 5 wires that were on one part of the loom, which was running into the cab, which I thought, you know what, they're not necessary. All they were essentially was for the switching of the gas to switch it on between petrol or gas. So I thought, you know what, that's probably not going to hurt anything. It's not going to stop anything from running. I'll just cut that one. The rest of them I went through and did quite a neat job, if I'm honest. But yeah, I paid the price and learnt the hard way that testing while you take things out is probably a really good idea. But anyway, I've got this up here on the front of the car at the moment to show you what I've taken off so far. This stuff here, this is the gas line essentially from the tank at the back where the petrol tank is. The rest of the stuff I'll show you in a couple of minutes. This is what's been removed essentially. So we've got the gas lines. Here you can see there's 4 of the gas injectors. The other 4 here, obviously being a V8, you need 8 injectors that come from the gas tank. And then obviously you've got lines that have to come into the system. So that's pretty simple stuff there, which is really good. It was all just clamps, so that wasn't difficult at all to get any of that kind of stuff out. It was really easy actually, and I sort of, part of the regret, yeah, but it's out now, so that's all good. It's very light, but the thing with the gas system and this stuff in particular was that it took a lot of space up above the top of the engine. I'll put up a photo now for you if you want to have a quick look at what this engine bay actually looked like, I should say, before I removed any of the system at all. You can see that there's not a lot of real estate in there to be able to go around to follow hoses and electrical connections and gas connections and all kinds of stuff like that. So That's one of the reasons that I was taking all of this gas stuff out to begin with. Figured if I'm not able to use it, there's no point having it in here. It's a waste of space. Get it out. So that's where this all came from here. So we'll take this stuff aside because we don't need that. This is obviously comes from the gas tank, runs in through here, it gets to its temperature before it'll allow it to switch over and send the gas up to the front of the car. So that's out there now. That's quite heavy. This here is a couple of kilos. So it's good to get rid of some of this weight as well, taking this stuff out. There's still more to go yet. I haven't finished. I've just done stuff at the front, and I'll talk to you about the stuff at the back, and I'll show you shortly. So this stuff here is no longer required. If you've got any LPG things and you need some parts, let me know. As you can see here, this is what's this, BRC, the system. So any of those bits, feel free to get into contact with me if you need them. Now I'll talk about the stuff in the engine bay. Don't mind the fact that I've got the EAS system lid open at the moment. That's another issue that entirely. That one here. Now I'll come over to this side here. What I'm going to talk to you about is this is a loom here. This is the entire LPG loom electrical stuff. So it's got every single injector line. It's got all of any of the controls and anything basically that was needed to run electrically, all of the LPG system in this thing. So what I did is, once I put it all back together, because I realized that was parts of this were needed to be able to still run the engine on petrol, because the systems were linked and the amount of wires in this system, holy crap. So I've had to leave this in here, although disconnected. So I've disconnected every single wire on every loom to do with the petrol side of the motor that doesn't have to run to make the engine run, basically. So anything that had to do with LPG is gone. See here, it's disconnected. It's not a very heavy loom, and I've just sort of wrapped it up nice and neatly so it can just stay in there, honestly. I made my mistake trying to disconnect all this stuff. I've learned from that, so I'm not going to put that back together. It's a long loom, but I've wrapped it up nice and clean here, and it's out of the way. It's not touching anything, so it's not going to hurt anything where it is. Honestly, I don't care if it goes to shit. I've resoldered all of the connections that I removed, which was only 5 of them, up in here. It's neatened this up a tiny bit. Again, if you saw that photo, then we move up the back here. So there's only 3 wires here, 1, 2, and 3, that run around to the back. So compare that to what it used to look like with all of this loom and everything in there. There's a lot more real estate in there now, and it makes it so much easier. Things like going in to change the spark plug and ignition type stuff is going to be so much easier now with that out of the way. But the engine still runs, so yay, that's really good. You probably can't see anything around the back here because there's only 1 wire. Otherwise, there's just the looming area down here. All the gas wires that are still connected, that have to be connected in order for this thing to still run on petrol, are just nice and neatly run into here. So what I'll do now, I'll bring you over, show you around here real quick, just to see what's left here compared to what used to be down here. And then I'll take you up the back and show you what's left and what I've got to do now. All right, so this is what we're up against now. So if you've watched the videos for a while, you can probably almost see it down here. This is the LPG tank down here. That's time to go for the gas tank. I've already purged the tank, so that's one really good thing. I don't have to worry about purging. I've actually degassed. I had someone come around and do that. I didn't know whether to just gas it to atmosphere because the tank was empty as far as I could suck it out with the engine. But I had a bloke come around and he sucked the rest of it out for me. So there's no gas in the tank now, which is really good. But I've got to come in and remove the fridge and all of the other stuff in here to be able to actually get full access to the remaining system. So that's what I'm going to get into. I'll save you watching me take it all to bits, and I'll just take all of this stuff out now, guys, get it out of the road and just show you the tank in itself and what's got to happen from here. All right, so all of the other stuff is out now. Just left the compressor in there because I will use that. I use that to pump up the tyres and do all that kind of stuff that I need to do. So I've just put him back in. Usually he's bolted up to the drawer. We've got the gas tank down here. I'll bring you down here. You can have a bit of a look at that now. So that's the LPG tank right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shouldn't be too bad. There's actually instructions down here that I will have a bit of a read off. Basically, it's a way to isolate the tank from there. So that's all nice and safe. All I've really got to do, I'm just going to move all the stuff out of here now. And then it seems reasonably easy just to unbolt all of this, and in theory it probably will be. So there's the tank with nothing else in there. Now taking all the other junk out of here. You can see quite clearly I've got to undo 4 connections down there, and then going underneath, I'm not going to bore you with taking the stuff down there. A couple of screws in there, and there's essentially a couple of protective covers there. I can take off the lines then, and once I've got the lines disconnected from the tank itself, then I can basically pull the tank out, lift her out, and that will remove the tank from the system. And all theoretically that's left in the system now is the line that runs from the front of the car all the way up to the back, and I can work out a way to either blank that, or if it's easy enough, I'll remove the whole lot. Alrighty, so we're at the end of the day here. We're looking pretty good. Like, I didn't get the entire job done, and I wasn't expecting that to happen because it's the first time I've ever done this. There's fittings, there's things in there that I was sort of learning on the way as well, plus lunch and all that kind of stuff. Where we're at, I've disconnected all of the fittings that are attached to the tank now. The gas tank, LPG tank, is essentially it's ready to come out. There were 4 fittings holding it down. That took the longest, if I'm honest, because of the positioning of where all of the fittings were to hold the LPG tank. It was actually really difficult to get to a lot of these things, and I wasn't just going to get an angle grinder out and go that way, especially given we're working on gas. So I did it the right way. I don't know if you can see up the back here. So there's a lot of gaps here that I've now got to fill. I'll get to that obviously, so that we don't end up filling the car gases into the car while driving around, because that wouldn't be real good, would it? So I'm really happy with that for today. This is loose now. This tank is loose and ready to lift out. I've got the engine crane beside the other Range Rover there, so I'll pull that out, whether it's tomorrow or another day, and you guys will see it anyway, when we can lift the LPG tank out. I'm looking forward to that. Now the lines are off it, so there's no leaks or anything like that. It's holding that remaining air in here, which I can take out to the shop and get them to degas. So that'll be really good to get rid of that, get that out, and then I can fill up all those little spots that I need to fill up and decide what I'm going to do with the back of the car. If you've got any ideas, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next video where I remove the tank and just show you pulling it out, basically. It shouldn't take too long to do that. And then Robert's your dad's brother, and off we go. It's good to get it back on the tools and whatnot. I'll have a bit of more of a talk about that later. Anyway, guys, see you in the next episode. Shouldn't be long. All right, this is one of the better parts of this kind of job now. So we've got everything out of the way, as per yesterday, before we sort of knocked off. Everything's disconnected in here. There's no lines connected or gas or anything like that. Everything's been purged, so we're all sweet now. Got the engine crane here, so that can only mean one thing. Let's lift this fella out of here, eh? There we go. LPG tank is out. So there's no more LPG inside the Range Rover. And have a look up here. It'll give me a chance now to clean this up. I don't know what's in the back here. It's been quite a long time. But there we go. The gas tank is now out of the system. When you move all this stuff out of the way, which I will do for you now. Yep, that's down. There's not really too much going on in here, so I can take all of the stuff out of here, which is really good. All the stuff that's been sitting there for years and years that has needed to be cleaned anyway. What's really good is actually I didn't know where that had gone, so now I can put that back on the car, give it a bit of a clean up, and then work out exactly what I'm going to do with the back end of this the system here, seeing as I don't have gas system anymore. Alright, so this last little part here is hopefully going to be one of the easiest parts that I'm going to do. It's basically just undoing all of the fittings that are holding the electrical side for the gas stuff and the actual gas line from the back of the car up to the front. So it's just a matter of undoing all of these tech screws, there's a whole crap load of them. That's not too hard, and there's a couple of cable ties in there for added bonus, so cut them down. Hopefully that shouldn't be too difficult, and once I've done all of that, there'll be nothing connected from the front to the back. At the back at the moment, the only thing that's still connected to the gas system is everything that was sending the gas to the front of the car. So obviously there's no gas in the system, there's no gas in the car anymore. It's just a matter of taking out these last couple of things. I'm not going to show you that because it's pretty boring stuff. All right, there we are. So what a job. It was a fair job to get this done. It took me a couple of days all up. Mind you, I'm not working super duper hard. I'm doing what I can do, where I can do, rather than just going crazy nuts. I'll explain the end of this last little bit and finish her up for you guys. So This is the end of the LPG system in this P38. You can see that the tank is out. I showed you that one earlier. This is all the electric stuff that goes to the tank from up here, from this end, all the way down to where the system switches on to gas if it wants to run gas. These are two copper lines here that were running, obviously the gas lines running to the engine bay. And then this fella here was from the filler here up to the system. It's actually took quite a lot more feed than what the system itself would take all the way down to the front of the motor. Anyway, that's the last of the stuff here. So as far as the LPG system goes in this P38, the only thing that remains in here is the stuff that I couldn't remove, the wiring type stuff that I couldn't remove because obviously it caused issues with the engine immobiliser setup that obviously the LPG system had something to do with. So rather than muck around and remove all of that, I've just made it work. I've shown you a little bit of the inside stuff there, I believe. I think I have. Of what remains inside there. So I guess the one thing that I haven't done yet, now that everything is all apart, there's no more LPG on the vehicle or any of the LPG lines or anything, is just to make sure that it's going to start again. So where's the key? I'll find the key and we'll start her up and see if it's actually going to turn over. Give me 1 second. So there we go. That is successful. Taking all of the LPG stuff out that I could take out. She's a runner, she's a goer. Obviously I've got a code or something like that that I need to sort out. You can hear the beeping there. But otherwise that was good. There we go. So where to from here? Oh, I'm not too sure, guys. I think it's just good to get a video out for you. It's been quite a while. I didn't want to sit here and just talk all day about the medical stuff that I've got going. I can talk to you about that in another time, guys. There's quite a lot to talk about if you wanted to talk about medical stuff, including the other Range Rover, which is parked right behind where you are right now. There is a little bit of stuff going on. So I'm not going to be doing the videos in the way that I did before, because there's so much going on here for me. My focus has had to change and everything that I do. So what you're going to see from me, if and when I do put a few videos up here and there for you, it's just going to be when I can, rather than the weekly ones that I was doing back there, because yeah, things have changed and you've got to look after number one at the end of the day, guys. I am still thinking of you guys. I really, anytime I go for a drive or do anything like this, I have got you guys in my mind, because I enjoy doing all of that kind of stuff as well. So slowing down is a very hard thing for me to do, but I'm still here. I'm still thinking about you guys, and I appreciate the chats and the comments and all the stuff over on Facebook and all of the apps that we catch up on. So if you want to chat, feel free to still chat, guys. I'm going to keep kicking while I can kick. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for supporting me, and thanks for being a part of this one here. And I'm glad it was successful. We got there in the end. So that was really good. Take care, and I'll see you next time. I'm still thinking of you.